Hi, Karl Beerenfenger. It's a pleasure to talk to you on behalf of Ask Scotland at the conference of tobacco control in Dublin. Could you tell us a bit about yourself and the organisation you work for and what your priorities are for your organisation going forward?
Thanks for having me. So I work at a Dutch environmental NGO called Fair Resource Foundation. We mostly do lobbying and campaigning. We work on different topics, one being plastic cigarette filters. And we launched the campaign last month, so May 2025, to ban plastic cigarette filters around the world.
And how's the campaign going? Do you have a lot of support for the campaign? What are the challenges that you might be facing going forward, and where are the opportunities for you?
Yeah, thanks for the question. So within the first month, we already have over 100 organizations worldwide supporting the campaign, meaning they support our call to policymakers worldwide to ban plastic cigarette filters. I think there's a couple of perfect opportunities in the coming years for us to ban plastic cigarette filters in the legislative field. One being the Global Plastics Treaty in the United Nations, which is currently being negotiated, could involve a ban on plastic cigarette filters, as well as the Single-Use Plastics Directive in the European Union, which is being evaluated this year and next year. A couple of years ago, they basically forgot to ban plastic cigarette filters, so we're going to tell the union to do it now. And then there's a couple of national policy processes, which are also very big chances for us to implement a ban on filters. And I think there's mostly opportunities at this point, because people worldwide are becoming more and more aware that all cigarette filters, almost all cigarette filters, are made of plastic. I myself, I used to smoke, I discarded my filters on the street, I had no idea. People don't know, but now they're starting to get aware that we're being misled by the tobacco industry, thinking it's some sort of sustainable item, and people want to tackle plastic pollution. The filter, as you guys know better than we do, does not reduce harm risks, so it's an unnecessary marketing tool. Biggest form of plastic pollution worldwide, so much toxins, I couldn't believe it at first. So all in all, like, all the stars are aligning to ban this filter. And we're very happy to have support of organizations like yourself, Ask Scotland, and other colleagues from your field, and we're hoping to build a strong coalition between environmental and health NGOs to tackle this pollution.
Excellent. It sounds as though you're making good progress. Can you talk us around some of the figures, if you have them, about the extent of the problem, like how many filters are in our environments across Netherlands, Europe, and elsewhere, and the big drivers as to why you're so concerned about the impacts of these filters within the environment? Like, what do those toxins cause? What's the environmental damage that they cause?
Yeah, so it's estimated that up to 2/3 of cigarettes are being discarded in the environment, in the streets, in nature, in water. They're found around playgrounds, around hospitals, everywhere we don't want them. And so up to 2/3 would mean up to trillions of cigarette filters, plastic cigarette filters, ending up in the environment every year worldwide. You cannot fathom the numbers, but everywhere around the world, if you walk for a little bit, you see them lying around everywhere. And we want to focus on the product. The filter itself, it's a design flaw. The tobacco industry knew when they introduced the filter it was going to pose a threat to the environment. Also because those filters leach so much toxic chemicals into the environment. I read reports on pesticides, on heavy metals, tar and nicotine, of course, etc. And it's been proven that those chemicals harm the aquatic life, the terrestrial life, plants, etc. I think it's a matter of time before we find out that water quality, drinking water quality, might be affected by filters. We're not sure yet, but we're in touch with many of the water organizations in the Netherlands and internationally to have that investigated. That might be the point where people say, hey, we need to stop this. So yeah, it's a massive environmental problem that not many people are aware of. I wasn't until a couple of years ago, but it's also sort of low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Because we don't need those filters. We are being misled. I say we, I used to be a person who smoked as well. We are being misled. And it's ingrained in the design that it ends up on the street, because where are you going to go with your filter in most cases? So we want this filter to be banned by governments, and after the tobacco industry have the responsibility to fix this. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, Ash Scotland has long campaigned for the banning of cigarette filters because they bring no health benefits whatsoever. And obviously there's the environmental impact that you've expressed and talked about today. What advice would you have for Ash Scotland in us continuing to raise the issue of our call for a ban in cigarette filters? Is there advice that you would give us to make our campaign stronger? How do you think we should best go around it?
Yeah, thanks for the question. And first of all, as you mentioned, you guys and colleagues in your field have done amazing work already on trying to tackle cigarette filter pollution. So it's time for the environmental NGOs to step in as well and form this alliance together. And I think we want to make use of the opportunity of the Single-Use Plastics Directive in Europe being evaluated and revised this year, next year, and in 2027. And so it would be good if countries in the European Union, but also in the UK, take position on those filters and say we want to ban these filters for the reason that we mentioned before. Because when this legislation, the Single-Use Plastic Directive, came into force a couple of years ago, it's tackling the 10 most found plastic items on European beaches, and plastic cigarette filters are the number one. But there's only measurements around awareness, measurements, and EPR, extended producer responsibility, tobacco industry paying for the cleanup cost, which is not a solution whatsoever. But other plastic items were banned, plastic straws, cutlery, etc. So I think we should now all, as the European Union and other countries, say we want to ban these filters. We basically forgot it the first time, but we can do it right now. So my advice to you would be to keep on doing what you've been doing, and we as an environmental coalition, we want to support you guys in this work as well. You can use our campaign website, which shows the global support for a ban on cigarette filters. Every continent has people and organizations supporting it, and it's growing fast. So talk to your national policymakers, regulators about this filter, and everybody. In my experience, most people you tell about the filter and tell about it's plastic, it's toxic, and it's unnecessary, they don't know. So it starts with awareness and then taking position. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time today. Much appreciated. Thanks, Karl.
Thank you very much for having me.